The Falls Count Everywhere podcast would like to mention our friends at the following. We Talk Wrestling, for the one stuff you need for the most intriguing stories and headlines and info on independent shows in multiple regions. We Talk Wrestling has you covered. Subscribe to Facebook's #1 interactive community for professional wrestling today. Pro Wrestling on Tuesdays are a blast with the Wrestle Talk podcast. Join the Night Owl, DJ Big Sexy, Luke Roberts, The Alpha, Jay Wade, Nightmare Jones, and many others as they bring you the hottest takes on the major circuits, showcase interviews with various indie stars, and the only place to get news on the most popular fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC. Catch them live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central. Find all of their media outlets on their website at WrestleTalkPodcast.com. Before each and every show, we like to remind our audience that freedom is never free, and all of us should be grateful to those who lay it all on the line. To all our first responders, military, and volunteers that help our nation every day, we love you and appreciate the sacrifices you make to protect all of us. Get ready for episode number 103 of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast as we welcome one of the veteran technicians out of the Southwest and the new AIWF America's Heavyweight Champion, Sebastion Envi. This podcast is scheduled for one episode where Falls Count Everywhere. Hey, what's up? It's Sunday night. We're getting into the summer, and we are pouring on the heat. That's right, and it's a party every Sunday night here at the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby here on the left, and to the right, of course, this is Gem City Mouse and Zmiz. Z, man, we are just having busy time here, just trying to stroll here in June. Already June 4th, and it's still busy, as always. So.
Yeah, that's been crazy.
So we're getting people here. Hey, for those who are in the show right now, make sure you're sharing the show, whether you be on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, whatever. We'd like to see all of you sharing that show here. And
tell your friends.
Yeah, share with your
friends. If
you
like us, maybe they will too.
Everybody's got friends. You should have friends, even if it's friends with, and if you step in front of a mirror, yeah, you got a friend,
Stop it.
And I got shadows.
Anyway. That was just as bad as Double or Nothing.
Oh my God!
Your joke was just as bad as Double or Nothing. I'll say it right here.
Yeah, I think I'll buy the replay.
Don't do it. All right, it would be a bad move.
And there's my wife peeping in here on the live feed here. So apparently he's crazy here.
It's wilding out. But no, seriously, Double or Nothing was. It started terrible. It took me 2.5 days, basically, to watch it. Like, I had to keep stopping. Thank God for FTR, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lethal, giving me one of my favorite tag team matches I've watched in a long time.
Yeah,
dude, Jeff Jarrett is like. I think I get it finally. I get what made him such a good bad guy back in the day. Like,
God, I don't know. One thing though, I just can't get over why does Karen Jarrett need a job at ringside? I don't get it.
Why does
that whole thing with Aubrey Edwards is?
No. That's the first thing a Karen's ever done right in this world, right there.
After she hit.
Who cares? Who cares? Guitar shot for Aubrey. I'm all for that. Sign me up for more of those.
Yeah, just don't swing a chair or any weapon while you're in stilettos, okay?
She did topple down, poor lady.
You got a twisted ankle, man. That's bad.
Oh, but overall, like the show was just bad, dude. It wasn't good.
Oh my God, Yeah, and you know what? I had the opportunity. I did get a way to get the feed in to watch it, but I was just so tired last Sunday with everything going on, and then I tried to watch. I'm like, I just could, and I switched to like a rerun or something. It was that bad.
Night of Champions was really good.
This was like 2 or 3 times I tried going in. As like, I saw them, but I didn't even make it to like the last stint was the women's world title match. I was like, I saw that, and I'm like, okay, trash, I'm done. You're done.
Oh,
I'm
because Tony
done.
Storm got the belt again.
Yes.
I'm not really too. As much as I'm not a fan of hers, I really like the Social Outcast right now. So like that's one of the big high points in AEW for me is those ladies are killing it and doing exactly what like I thought the women's division needed was like that storyline hook kind of thing, and they're doing great. So like at the same time, as much as I'm not a fan of who got the title, I really like what they're doing. So like I'm cool with it too because it does go forward now. Now, I am a Jamie Hayter fan just like you, so like both of us are automatically like, why not just keep the belt on that greatness of a woman when it comes to an in-ring competitor? But we'll have to see how it plays out. I'm pretty happy Jade lost the title. I don't like how they did it.
Right.
So,
Well,
I mean, I like who they gave it to. They should have saved it for like this Wednesday, and Jade should have opened the show and been like, hey, I beat everybody now. Who else is there? Statlander shows up. Statlander kicks her butt. Calls it a day. Everybody looks good. Like, and it builds to Jade better stuff. So, like, that's just me.
and ironically, Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, those were probably the 2 top women that, at least in AEW for me anyway. So,
oh yeah.
I mean, other than Jade Cargill, I mean, of course, she had to get knocked off her high horse eventually, but
yeah,
I mean, still both women, still great talents. I'm huge fans.
But Night of Champions was stellar show completely all the way through. I don't know if you got to watch any of that.
Oh, I watched the entire thing. Yeah,
Bro.
I did.
Great job from that. Like everybody was on point. Like,
oh my gosh, and
even Trish and Lita, I actually enjoyed that match. That was a fun match. Like they gave us a good match too, and thank you.
Yeah, and I like how Zoe Stark made her involvement.
Yes, my girl,
making her mark by doing a Z360 and busting Becky's bridge of her nose, and and making her bleed.
I truly,
that was great.
I'm going to say this right now. I hope Zoe Stark reaches the greatness of my favorite female wrestler in professional wrestling, which is the great Jazz. So Jazz is my female queen of queens when it comes to professional wrestling for women. I hope Zoe Stark beats her. Like, that's how much faith I have in that woman as going to be just a great talent to watch grow.
Yeah. Well, I'm all for Zoe Stark too. I was kind of excited to see, and I think Zoe running with Trish is definitely that's a good step to go on, especially definitely with the Raw brand, and for the Trish come back for this run, and the Zoe run with that. I mean, gosh, how lucky can she get, at this point? So at least I think she's lucky to run with Trish Stratus.
No, like everything came out of Night of Champions was awesome. NXT showed us that they're rebuilding from the white and black. We talked about it. Could they like remotely touch what the black and gold brand did? Right? We talked about that a while back.
Yeah.
After Battleground, I think they have it in them. There's the hunger there, man. There's the hunger there.
Yeah, there's the hunger, but now apparently there's rumors now going around that Baron Corbin is now going to move back there, and I'll tell you what, this whole he should never have dropped. He never should have dropped from the Lone Wolf. I'll tell you that.
Oh no, like he needs to go back to that because when Baron Corbin was the Lone Wolf in NXT and was actually starting to pick up steam and actually built this aura kind of around him, it was a beautiful thing. And then they just did whatever they did with him and it lost its flair. Baron Corbin has the right stuff to be a key player in the business. Not saying what he hasn't done hasn't been good, but like he could easily be a key figure. Mustafa Ali also went back down too, or is
That I'm not really. I mean, if it's for building purposes, I really hope they give him something that. I mean, they need to give him one of his like first two gimmicks when he came in. With that,
You know what's really funny is I actually had a dream about Night of Champions that Mustafa Ali won the whole thing, and like, and then like, you and I are gonna have a whole different conversation. Like I had it so like, no man, I want Mustafa to keep going the way he's doing because I like the positively thing. So there's my wife. Your wife chimed in the bottom. Look at her; she's throwing. Good old D'Lo. Not D'Lo. What am I doing? Bubba Ray. I didn't mean D'Lo.
brother.
Even though D'Lo is one of my favorite. God,
I love
D'Lo is the bomb.
D'Lo was awesome.
Oh yeah. Hit the walls.
Yeah. You're gonna throw your neck out, brother. Only he can.
Oh, dude, I don't understand how he does that. He pops. There's
you
one.
See how big his neck is? I mean, the man's got a strong neck. I mean,
that's one. We went to that fan fest, right? That'd be one that I'd really want to see too. There is D'Lo Brown.
Gosh, D'Lo Brown would be awesome.
D'Lo Brown would be awesome.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we're gonna talk about some other things possibly here, but yeah, the whole Double or Nothing definitely was a downer. I mean, God, you guys, AEW, you've got to step up when it comes to this All In London, August 27th. You got over 2.5 months to step up your game. Make something happen, man. You're going over to London. You're going to Wembley Stadium. If you pull whatever card you just pulled in Las Vegas, you pull that in London, you're going to kill what you're trying to build. That's all I'm going to say.
And there's so many good things and good qualities to AEW. That's the stuff that hurts me. Is like there's so many guys that I want to see and ladies. So many guys and ladies I want to see succeed. Like I'm rooting for guys like Ethan Page. I'm rooting for Ricky Starks, Jamie Hayter, Jade. Like the list goes on and on. I want to see these guys succeed and be another company. But if they keep going the way they're doing with Double or Nothing, I'm telling you right now, as a kid growing up and watching the finger poke of doom and all that kind of stuff happen with WCW, if AEW continues on the track that they are, it is 100% going to be a repeat.
Yeah, I know. Do not get to a level of WCW 2000. You will kill yourself and your career. So,
and I'm an Orange Cassidy fan. I'm an Orange Cassidy fan, but the 21 Battle Royale thing was ridiculous. Like, dude should have lost it there. He is not Wonder Dad. Please stop it. Oh my God,
oh my God.
Orange Cassidy is a hero of mine when it comes to wrestling and comedy art and all that stuff of the wrestling world. But enough is enough. Like, we need a change.
Right. I get that, man. I totally get that.
Turn Wardlow heel too. God. Bad guy.
So how about we divert from just a moment here, and we don't have an actual production clip because before I get into that, if for those who have been watching our previous shows, you know I've had a little bit more on my wall previously, and now there's not. I'm in the process of hopefully to try to rebuild the studio / office to where I get another view. I'm going to be getting a different desk, whatever the case may be, where I'm not constantly looking at an angle, hopefully to get something better. But
is my angle bad?
Yep.
No, every side's my good side, right?
Yeah. So there were some decorations, hooks I had to take off the wall, and apparently they did not come off easy as I hoped they would. Which led to the point where I had to spackle the wall, sand it down, and I've had to paint this wall again and also other spots. So it's not been an easy transition for me as usual, and not to mention the fact I'm still trying to rebuild my knee from injury. Thank you very much. And here I am up on a stool trying to paint, so I can reach to the top of the ceiling where those some of those hooks were being there. So Um, anyway, so before we address Tyler's question and everything else, let's go and we're talking about local shows here. Let's go ahead and kind of bring up what we've got going on here for you guys. So we're going to do a live presentation here. So this is this coming Thursday for Tri-States Wrestling in Mooresville, Missouri. Mayhem in Mooresville. It's an outdoor event. Bell time's at 7 p.m. So it's a free will donation though. It's not really technically free if you want to think about it. So if you help out, this is for the Mooresville betterment. So like I said, it's a free will donation. So please at least give something if you're going to show up. I mean, these guys are putting in their time, so they're not getting anything out of this. Helping out the town of Mooresville, Missouri. So, but the Iceman will be defending his title, though. He is the TSW heavyweight champion. So,
yes, he is doing great. Burt Candy there, Tiberius Storm, Blair. Some of my faves. Some of my faves.
There you go. All reason to go attend that event. So Thursday night, you're in that town. You want some Thursday night entertainment? There you go. This is this coming Friday, June 9th. St. Louis Anarchy with Giants Walk Eyes Open. You can visit stlanarchy.com for more ticket information. Here's a feature match, including Billy Starks. Man, if you don't know anything about Billy Starks in the Midwest, you're missing out.
One of the best females in the Midwest right now.
And the crazy thing is she's been doing it for a good while, and she just graduated high school at regulation. So she's like 18. So I think she like started training like at 13. Isn't that crazy? And so, I mean, she's already got some work in this business and just not graduated high school. So, so against Mio and Yamashita, that ought to be a good match. So
yes, it should.
Yeah. So 405 4th East Street in Alton, Illinois. So make sure that you're there. And apparently there's a pre-event party and then the main show at 7 o'clock. So if you want St. Louis Anarchy, definitely putting on a good event there. And this is Mid-States Wrestling in Harrison, Arkansas at the Fairgrounds Indoor Building on Saturday, June 10th, 7 o'clock here. This is their 21st anniversary show. So a lot of familiar faces that have been around this area that are going to be down there. Of course, Alice Planquet, Space Cowboy Jason Jones, of course, Stephen E. Will be in attendance at this event. So you can visit mswtickets.com or call 858-848-SLAM for more information on getting your tickets there.
Stevie E gets a bad rap, but god dang, that is one beautiful beard.
Yeah. It goes great with the garb.
Hats off. Like, just gotta respect a man with a beard like that.
Yeah. They had a great event last night at the Belle Claire Fairgrounds for Dupont Sergeant Pat Carrier. Raised quite a bit of funds around the St. Louis local area. KMOV has been doing a lot of coverage on this, and apparently there's been some great turnouts for silent auctions, everything else to raise funds for Dupont Sergeant Pat Carrier. So great that turned out. That was a great show, and also a great turnout last night. But also this coming Saturday, they are coming back to the Belle Claire Fairgrounds and look at this big 6-man tag team main event with the entire Dogtown Underground facing off against Gary Jackson, Curtis Wild, and the new SICW Classic Champion, the Big Texan. Of course, you can reserve your seats by calling 618-286-4848 or go to sicw.org. Remember, if you attend this event, you can go to the free TV taping that will be at the East Carondelet Community Center at 823 State Street, where it will be at 12 p.m., where the tapings will start there. And also, this is Saturday, June 17th for AIWF Productions. Dream Big, Fly High. This is basically going to be a light heavyweight show.
Ooh. Nice.
Tobias there, putting out the championship against Logan Ridge.
And there's a couple of my guys in there. Shrapnel's in there.
Yeah, so this is going to be a light heavyweight show. There's also going to be some NGW, New Genesis Wrestling matches, including Marcellus Knight defending his heavyweight title, and I think like one other.
Yeah, you got the sound guy.
Yeah, sound guy. Yeah, so there's So this is a light heavyweight showcase here for this, and of course, all proceeds will go to the Children's Miracle Network. And so door tickets are $12, and general admissions is $7. You can, and of course, you can get your advance tickets at the Ringside Buffet. That's on the same premises there, but that is on Saturday, June 7th. Oh, I'm sorry, June 24th. Did I read that wrong? I did. I'm sorry. It's June 24th.
We get it.
Oh,
We get it straight now.
why am
It's
I thinking
okay.
17th? I was thinking there was something on the 17th. Oh, I know I got a show on the 17th to attend if I'm cleared by then. So that's kind of a game time decision here because I go back on.
This is gonna be a killer show.
Yeah, I go back. Let's see. I think my final test day of my rehab is on June 14th on Wednesday. So if I'm cleared, I'll probably be at the show I'm going to be attending, which I'm not going to say much because the state is a butt. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. Yeah, okay. GW is June 17th. Why didn't I get that? I don't know. Guys, this has been a busy week. I'm sorry. My apologies. So there you go. you know, I'm sorry. It's just things just been there's things turning upside down here, or outside the studio around here. Me trying to get rehab from surgery. I'm also attending work. Shoot, if I was doing this for a living, it'd be a dream and paying my bills.
Oh, facts, bro.
Yeah, but
Facts.
yeah, I guess getting in with the right people is the issue. So anyway, so I sit and do this for your entertainment. Share, like, subscribe, multiply that by 1,000. We'll be okay. So
we got this.
Yeah, I know. And we are still waiting on our featured guest, Sebastion.
What else are you talking about?
He's communicating here with me now.
Here we can go back up to this, Tyler. Just so you know, like I'm not ignoring you.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go back.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Right.
Here it is. I actually do not know anything of the outcomes of the show last night, unfortunately. I decided to pull out because of personal reasons. One, I've been having back issues. And two, I had a buddy's son's graduation party, and I felt like that was more important. So I'll say it in front of everybody. But I heard it was a great show. Looked like old Dougie got back in the ring, so you can't wait to see what actually fell out from that show.
Yeah,
they'll tell me. I'll find out. But I miss everybody, man. They're
yeah. Like I said, things do come up, and it's like I said, sometimes you have to roll with what you got, So, and trust me, I know about back issues too, brother. Hell, I got to carry some people, throughout my career, when they're no longer around.
You ain't carrying me.
I know I ain't carrying you, man. I'm talking about inside the ring, and some people that are no longer around inside the ring. More of like. That's why I've had my tag team stint, and I'll do tag teams again here and there, but you better carry your own, or else I'm just out the door, bro. So I ain't having it. You know what I'm saying? I've just
mine's just years of not listening to older men saying "lift with your knees, not your back." So yeah. I'll be honest. I used to be somewhat of a moose back in the day when it came to like some people don't know that I grew up in the music industry. My dad was a sound engineer, so I was around concert stage all the time, and they'd be like, move that. And there's that old saying that you have farmer strength, right? Well, I kind of have that because I just pick stuff up and walk it, like, and it's caught up to me. I should have listened to him. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I can see you. No, I technically can't see you, but I can see what you're saying, wife.
What is it with our significance this week?
Hey, they're supporting us, man. They're supporting us. That's what the first thing that matters right there is the support of the wife. So you know what? If she wants to bombard you, she can bombard you. If she wants to come in here, you can't see me. Like all they're doing is I guarantee you, my kids are all in the bedroom right now. They're all giggling and stuff up there, snorting and laughing and whatnot. So,
Right. So, all right. Wow. Okay. Well, guess what? We actually do have our our, s- our featured guest scheduled here, who has just now arrived, and we are going to switch up just a couple things here. So we want to make sure we're doing some good graphics, and from there, and let's see, let's go put up our grade. Hopefully, do you guys love our new logos? I hope you guys do, because
I love them.
yeah, I love them. I do. If I didn't, I wouldn't have them. So there you go.
There's a secret behind it now too.
There you go.
If you can figure out our secret, why we love our new logo so much, I might throw a prize in there sometime.
And guess what? You're not getting any hints. So there you go.
No hints.
No hints. Take a quick sip here. Because we're all money like that, man. So
I said sometime, maybe it might come around. Tax time.
yeah, right. Exactly. Sometime. All right, man. So our featured guest tonight is from out of the great state of Texas, more like, of course, the Southwest region. Been a ring veteran for 13 years now, going on. Recently, just gained some recent success by capturing the AIWF America's Heavyweight Championship, and of course, he's got some other great projects outside the ring as well. Tonight, we're going to touch on here as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, would you please put your hands together for our guest of the evening, Mr. Sebastion Envi. Sebastian, how you doing, my friend?
I am good now. I'm very, very sorry for the delay.
It's all right, man. We're just glad and happy that you're on the show, and glad that you're able to come on here. And I understand that some of these travels and all the work you put in sometimes get you worn down, and you needed that rest. And I appreciate you coming on here and shooting the breeze with us here, kind of going over some
my
things
pleasure.
here.
Yeah, we got in from myself and my tag team partner, the leading man, Michael Schaefer, who you should look at getting on your podcast, because I say all the time on every podcast I go to, more people need to know about myself, of course, but more people know about him, as he's the best big man in all of entertainment, as we like to call him. But we were out in Borger, Texas for Motivate Pro Wrestling, and that's like 5 hours, 5:15 from here. So we left the show after helping break down the ring and all that fun stuff at like, I forget when we left, but we got home at like 4-ish. So
Yeah.
those are always fun drives, let me tell you.
Oh my gosh,
It's the best.
oh my gosh,
Definitely good to be fans of the people you're in the car with.
That's a
Yeah,
fact.
then-
That is a fact. So far, I've liked everybody I rode with. So.
oh my gosh. Well, that's good too, because or even if you're meeting people for the first time, you sometimes come away with stories or memories that are either good and maybe not so good, and yeah, it's either going to be a good trip or a long trip, if you know what I mean.
Yep, I've had like a few of those, and I try to generally, like, I always say, like, stuff you're not supposed to talk about with your friends or like religion and politics, and I think that's even more so for people that you don't know. So there's been some rides where people that I've known for a while or people that I met for the first time got like super, political about stuff. I'm just like, let's just stick to like wrestling and stuff around wrestling, or I have to throw you out the window or something. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Well, like I said, I've had quite a few of those in my day, and I still have a day, but these are earlier in my career where we're all ride sharing and everything else, and definitely those are some memories you take away outside the ring. Some you can share, and some you can't. But if you know the game, but but getting on here with you here for you tonight, and I just want to, kind of everybody, we try to bring anybody we can. We're reaching out to different regions. Like I
Mhm.
say, you're in the Southwest. We're reached out to the West Coast and East Coast, Southeast, whatever. Um, but kind of with our listening audience here, kind of tell us how you got started in the wrestling business and where you got your initial training, and after you got done with your training, what were the memories that you took away from your first match?
So I started. I mean, it's cliche as can be, but lifelong fan, and I can't even remember when I started watching, WWF, and I remember having a buddy, and every time I would go over his house, we'd spend it and every single time, and I was over there a lot. We'd spend a good 40 minutes to an hour, like every single time. He had a stack of the old WWF magazines, and
Yeah.
we'd thumb through those all the time. I can always remember watching it on TV. Never thought I could do it because, I mean, I'm a cruiserweight with how tiny I am, and just never thought I could. Just never thought I could do it. I'm originally from Washington D.C., college educated in Louisiana, moved to Texas for work, South Texas first, down around the Victoria area, and then I moved up to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and just I was going to my 9 to 5. And there's a couple different ways you can go to it. I just happened to one day just take a different route to kind of avoid traffic and kind of see what that route was like. And I'm going by this big building, and it says XCW Wrestling on it. And I kind of wondered about it, so went there to check it out. Liked the show at the time; it was a weekly show. And then I spoke to the guy in charge there, Knight Davis, and we kind of worked out some things as far as training went, and got things started. I think it was April of 2009 when I started training, and then my first match was October 2010 at IHWE in Fort Worth, Texas. And it was a good, fun experience. I had friends from work that came out, so I had my own little cheering section or whatever. And of course, if you see the clip, the video of the match, I come out and they're cheering for me, and I have this just crap eating grin on my face at them being there, and it was I was just glad to get through it without screwing up or looking foolish. Is my main takeaway from it, because I just it was something that meant a lot, something I was looking forward to, a big step, big stage for me at that time, and I just wanted to get through it without screwing it up, basically, which I managed to do, I think. So.
Right. Well, yeah, I had for my first match back in August 1996, and that was some pounds ago, and that's where I looked like Ricky Morton's stepchild. But but I was coming out there, of course, coming out as a bad guy, as a heel, and kind of talking my trash, and yeah, and then of course the babies, had a big baby, and then of course, one a good size, guy that just Vader bombed me a couple times, and everybody else is doing other moves after the bell. I'm like, okay, that's great, you know. You show the arrogant kid after the bell just beating up on the kid, and all the faces beating up the kid for no reason, just to show him a lesson. But
Right.
I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But
Yeah.
but if I guess it's something like that you have to kind of take through, because some of those guys, when you get in the ring with them, it depends on who you get in the ring with for your first match, how they're going to test you whenever when everything is all said and done. By the time you get back behind that curtain, and of course I was kind of sucking a little bit of wind because people were really dropping on my stomach and making me lose my breath. So yeah, it kind of so it was definitely a testament to the character that you build of yourself in this business. And some people just suck it up and go home, and they're like, oh my, it's tougher than what I really thought it would be. But no, I thrived on it. So
Oh yeah, I was fortunate that the first guy that I had my match with was somebody that I trained with, so there wasn't so much a testing situation then, just because we knew each other, we were cool with each other. Now there have been times later on as like things went down, like, you know, as the years gone on, that I've been in situations where I've been tested either by people or physical stuff, injuries, and you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. None of those are good either.
But those things I've come to accept, like tapping all the broken bones and torn stuff here and there, and you know, bell rung a few times. It just, you know, it happens through the course of this. As my trainer said, like day 1 or 2, probably day 1, but then like the first like 20 minutes, it's not ballet.
Even though we go back and forth always and say how it is a type of ballet at the same time.
Oh yeah, it's very hyper masculine, hyper physical ballet. It's a dance between like 2 people or 4 people or however many people are involved. It's definitely a dance.
With that, you know, learning and seeing, and you said yourself being the fan of it and growing up with it and stuff. Who are some of the people you would take attributes from to build like the perfect wrestler?
Dynamite Kid, Kenta, your Bret Harts, your Kurt Hennings, more for the technical stuff. Dean Malenko. I know he's persona non grata at like these days, but Chris Benoit was like a huge like influence of mine as far as like his, which he also, I mean, I know he's kind of influenced by Dynamite as far as like that sort of just intensity and that technical prowess, with that intensity and sort of just belt to belt, you're going to get like 100,000% of just physicality and aggression. And I like that style, and that's something that I try to bring to it. Because I mean, I know I'm a cruiserweight and I need to fly around and flip and flop and all that kind of stuff, but I was always one to be of the mind that, with my style anyway, that I just didn't want to just be seen as that, and I didn't want to just have to depend on that. I want to be like, I want to hit people. I want to get technical with them when I can. I want to fly when I can, when it makes sense. I just want to be like an all-around sort of person that can flourish in any style, any match with anybody. I like to think that can help me get on any show, whether it's like even with the character, like how I've kind of refined myself over the years to not being anybody, to being like the strong style nerd, to then transitioning to the strong style cinephile. I like to think that I can fit on any show, be it, you know, your more super serious athletic, you know, type of shows, or your, you know, your kid shows or your comedy shows, or like I can fit anywhere. And that's the kind of person I try to be, that can fit in any situation on any show and work with anybody. Don't know if I quite succeeded at that, but I mean, that's my goal when I go out there.
That seems like a reasonable goal, because if you can put yourself in anybody's shoe, and if you're, you know, if you need to be the small guy over the Goliath, you know, attribute, you can get that done. If you can go toe to toe, you know, Chris Benoit, by the way, is one of my favorite wrestlers. With you, like, I'm right there with you as what he put down in the ring, from like how he told the story in the ring.
Yeah,
like, you know, everyone goes, "Oh, it's easy to tell a story outside of the ring," but like Chris Benoit probably was easily the best in-ring storyteller to do it in my eyes. So yeah. I agree with you. And Dean Malenko is vastly underrated for how awesome he was. That is one beautiful pup.
That is my boxer mix Yoda. And Striker is around my feet here. He's a Staffy mix. He'll probably love these guys. They're spoiled as can be.
No,
that's how it should be.
Oh my gosh!
I have a pit bull mix, pit bull lab. We're pretty sure upstairs on my couch that needs to get a job. So
yeah, I had for a time I had 3, because I had a pit mix that I had first for like 7 years. It was just me and him. I call him, like, I love these two. But like my pit mix Skunk, that was my soul pup. Like, he just hit like just a little bit different than these two. And I always said he was like my co-pilot, and it was just me and him for like 7.5 years. And I had all 3 of them for a year or so, and then skunk start developing some neurological stuff, and there's basically no coming back from that. So he had a seizure at one point, and I was like, had to be done for that.
Poor guy.
My. Yeah.
I'm busy. You see me clearly doing something. Sir.
Yeah. Yeah. I got 3 beasts of my own, but they're shut outside from my studio. I mean, God, I love them to death. And, Lord,
I have like a gate in my home office. I could lock me up, and then they'll just stand there with those like ASPCA faces and just right. I can't do it. Like nothing makes me like Charmin Soft quicker and easier than just dogs. Like all animals, like I love all animals, sure, cats, stuff like that, but dogs over everything and everyone for me.
It's gonna sound goofy, but my animal of choice is a prairie dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had 2 actually. I had one named P Monkey and one named Daisy, and probably one of the coolest animals you could ever be around.
Oh my!
I love my dog too. Don't get me wrong. Van is cool. we have a zoo here. I have guinea pigs. I have 4 cats and a dog.
Yeah, I've thought about like kind of because I got used to having like 3, so I thought about like trying to get back up to 3, and then somebody at work recently was like, "Hey, anybody that wants a puppy?" So somebody had dumped some pups like on her brother's land, which again, like just the stuff people do to animals just burns me out. But I was like, no, and then I thought about it for a second, and I was like, what kind? She was like, they were like brindle pit mixes, and then I googled like brindle pit mix, and I was like, no, just put it down. Nope. I was like, nope. I'm good. I'm good with 2. Like I'm good.
Oh my! I'll tell you, if my wife comes home with another one, I'm going to scream. That's all I'm just saying.
I didn't even want the guinea pigs.
Like, why are you a grown man?
Sid Holland's the reason I have guinea pigs.
The only reason you have a guinea pig is like when you take the class pet home for like spring break or something in elementary.
And now my kids love it, and I can't and they're kind of cool. I like rodents too, so like that's been one of my weird animal. Like I always thought rodents are cool because now just
a little weird.
My bad. Yeah. Like I rooted for the rat in the Rat King in Ninja Turtles, man. I was that guy.
My God. I can just picture your cat playing with the guinea pigs somehow. I don't know.
You know what's really funny is my mom and dad had an awesome lab back when we were kids. And I had this prairie dog, right? And so P Monkey was about yay long and about yay fat. And these 2, this lab and this prairie dog, were like best friends. I could let them out and they would run around the house together. They would, my mom would be so mad. Trash would be everywhere because they'd be tearing up the place. And like, it was funny. Like, yeah. Damn. I like animals. They were cool.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. So, as far as getting back here to your momentarily here to your wrestling career, which, by the way, if you want to check out Sebastion, he's got plenty of matches on his personal page. All you got to do is look up, search for Sebastion Envi, and he's got like an entire playlist. So he's got
like my fledgling like YouTube channel where I guess I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing because I have like my wrestling stuff and I have like some short film stuff that I do, music video that I shot like a while back, too far back. I need some more recent work with that I'm trying to start up, and then like a little geek talkback reaction video series that I do. I don't know what you would call it, that I'm trying to get going, get some attention on it. It's just very much with like wrestling, as far as like it's trying to get eyeballs like on myself, like my matches and stuff, to so more people see me with that, more people see like my film work and stuff as well. It's just
that's awesome
because there's so much going on, so much that people can be doing, and then there's so many people in the wrestling business on the indie scene that are trying to come up, and then it's like with film and I got a comic book that I'm working on as well because I do a lot of stuff. But you can self-publish now. You can do a whole bunch more stuff yourself when it comes to film and stuff like that. But there's so many other people that realize that as well. So you're always fighting to get through the saturation of everybody else doing the same thing you're doing.
You know what's going to really sound weird about this? Because I remember watching like back in the 90s when skating really was becoming a big thing, you know, skateboarding and stuff, and they're doing the videography stuff. And like a lot of those guys became big in other fields by doing it. They're just skateboarders trying to record their stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now put that mindset to what you're saying. We see other wrestlers doing the same thing these days, bringing out a YouTube page or something. You guys, it's really bringing in what you guys have in your arsenal into one place where these promoters, these guys can see your guys' work. Yeah, and then you get all this other stuff, and then think about like what other options you could get out there. Man, you got that repertoire. Producing could be in your future with a company, you know.
It is something that I want to do, and I try. I'm always kicking myself now because it's like I do the strong style cinephile thing, and I combine, you know, like my two loves, which is like filmmaking, professional wrestling, to be the character and person I am in the ring, but also it's always like hashtag like my stuff, like hashtag not a gimmick and hashtag this is what I do, because this is what I do for like my 9 to 5. This is what I do outside of that for my own personal projects. But I've only kind of leaned into that in the past like for I guess 5 years now, where I've been doing this a lot longer. I've had those skills, the same skill set for the whole time that I've been doing this, but I only leaned into it in the past like 5 years. So it's like I should have been doing this more, because one thing my trainer always has said before is like more people at this point in time should know who I am, and I fully believe that. But it's like because I didn't take advantage of what else I could bring outside for promotion and marketing myself and trying to brand build and stuff like that. So I'm trying to constantly play catch up, you know, with that. And that's something I've been telling like some of the newer guys that I come across that I've made friends with and stuff like that, because this business is truly, I think, one that you really get out of it what you put into it. So if you're not putting in the work in the ring, but also the marketing, promotion in any way, shape, form that you can, then, you know, what are you doing? Like we had a guy who, don't put his name out there, but like one of the issues he had with wrestling was he made the comment he wasn't being seen enough. And I'm like, it's a show that I mean, there's a video and stuff for him to put out there. I'm like, if you feel like you're not getting seen enough, like I think that's more like a you issue. If you're not making the effort and put yourself out there. So that's where I'm at. Like now, it's just trying to, like I said, just play catch up and trying to maximize my skill set outside the ring as best I can to get some attention on myself inside of the ring, get opportunities to then show people like what I can do. So 9.9 times out of 10, people see me and they're like, oh, you know, they like my stuff, they like what I can do, but it's just a matter of getting those opportunities and kind of getting over the frustration that I know we all know about when you're not getting them, or you're reaching out and you know, you're getting left on red for messages, or just you hear the old well, I've had you on my mind for a while, and you know, the other 6 different ways they can acknowledge what you're saying, or that you message them and not actually follow up with you, or not actually want to use you. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but as far as like the wrestling content you have quite a bit on there. So on a lot of your matches that I've noticed, I've gotten into, because I admit I did not get into much, but I did get into a lot of it toward the beginning part, at least of that list. And a lot of those matches were from down in Texas, where it was for the Christian Wrestling Federation.
Yep.
And like you said, you're talking about the whole thing. You're talking about, religion, politics, whatever else, but some people are uncomfortable talking about that. But since you were in here, it's just always been intrigued to me because of the guy that's grown up in church, and with what I believe and everything else. So, but I see that there's a bunch of kids there, which is great. You get kids that are chanting, and yelling and screaming, That's always good to hear, especially when they're in the gymnasium and it's really loud,
Mhm.
especially when the kid screams. so, so what are some of the differences that you can kind of distinguish with the crowds in the locker room there at the CWF thing you then from like other promotions you worked for in your career?
One of the things that a lot of the guys that I noticed, and some of like lots of other guys that come through, that are mainstays in that locker room, and just like kind of guests who kind of come in and out as they're doing the monthly shows. There's no political stuff in there. Everybody's in there because it's. I love CWF because I grew up between Baptist and Methodist, and my mom gave me the choice because my mom was Baptist, my father was Methodist, and kind of bounced back and forth after they split up between the two
Right.
churches. She gave me the choice of like which one I wanted to go to, so I eventually went Methodist. So I grew up in the church. I find myself more these days not so much into or as quite attached to specific organized religion as opposed to just kind of an overarching kind of spiritual outlook and
Understandable.
stuff like that. But
Right.
the one thing I did love about the CWF is you didn't have to be a Bible thumper that knows every, the Bible cover to cover, chapter and verse. Because I certainly didn't, but it was just the juxtaposition of the message and the wrestling. The idea was that either you can get people through the door with the message and then hopefully entertain them with some good wrestling, or you get them in there for the wrestling and maybe they get a good message out of it. Maybe we reach, somebody to help make a positive impact on their life outside of the event. So it was always a good positive place. Even it's wrestling. You'd have like some matches that go well, some matches that didn't. You'd have maybe some flubs here or there, but there was never any sort of negative vitriol flowing through the locker room. It was just positivity and love in the locker room. And then the crowds were just like any wrestling crowd. I mean, they boo and cheer for various people. So when I was doing the strong style nerd deal and I had like the Dragon Ball Z like attire and stuff like that, actually the Black Goku nickname that I went by came from a CWF show from the crowd. Like we were working like a church, it was like a youth camp or something like that. So it was teenagers.
Nice. Yeah.
So I come out wearing that, and like in the opening couple minutes of the match, like they're chanting Black Goku. I was like,
Nice.
that's the show that the Christian wrestling show is the show that gave me that nickname that I took.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been intrigued because I heard it back. I mean, I think it was like '99. I first even heard about somehow in the pipeline over the web with the CWF and everything else, and based out of Texas. And I mean, I don't know if maybe I can't really say if maybe it came out of the mouth of Shawn Michaels whenever he got his revelation and cleaned himself up, and then maybe he got word of that and maybe spreaded it somehow. Um, but no, I mean, I was just always intrigued by that as far as how they deliver the message and everything else. Me growing up in church here, of course, I grew up Baptist, but
Mm.
you know, it's but like I said, if it's you know, I mean, non-denominational, but as long as it's the same purpose and everything else, getting the same message and for whatever else. But I mean, everybody's got their beliefs, but you always want to tend to be more positive and more helpful, be more more enlightened, spiritual, to help your to help others and to carry out a word of some type of spiritual nature. It's
Mm.
always good to have something like that because definitely you don't want to be a downer. We were always things like that. You never don't want to be a downer.
Don't want to
Um,
do that.
but now I just always kind of wonder because I think when I saw one of those shows, it always seemed like they were trying to portray a message, and there were certain different characters in there. And
Mm.
it's like if I go in there with what I go in, I don't think they've got room for me to be in there because they'll probably want me to be somebody else, and I don't even have gear for that, or I don't know because I didn't know how it worked. I even wanted to even venture to get down to Texas to even get in there.
Mhm.
But if they're just taking, I don't know how it's changed if like guys with like regular gimmicks and everything else. But I imagine, you know, in with a lot of promotions they're running their own, it's kind of hard to kind of stay clean, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's which I don't know. For me, it's easier to be clean. I mean, you have to really go out of your way to do the other. You've already thought about it. Um, so I guess safe to say we won't see any death matches in CWF. But
Yeah, no.
yeah,
There's guys who I guess if guys who come in there, they adapt to where they're at. I mean, there's plenty of guys who do kind of harder edge matches or gimmicks or characters or whatever outside of there, but they come there and they kind of adjust. I mean, like any show that you go to. I mean, if you're going to like a show that caters to the adult crowd, you might be more free flowing with some of the stuff you're saying during your promos. But if you're in that sort of like you don't want to, elementary school fundraiser or something like that, you're going to be a little bit different. So
right.
guys who come through there have been able to adapt to where they're at with CWF. So that's never been like an issue. And like I said, all around, it's just a good positive place, good positive experience every time that I did, because I've worked like for them for 6 or 7 years, probably all told. So it's always something I enjoy. I have no issue like going back there and working. So I just truly believe in what they do. Like I said, it's just the message in wrestling. I just think that's a fantastic way of reaching people. So I'm all for that. If we can reach somebody, make a positive impact on their lives, spread that out to society, and we can all be better people, and things will be better.
Absolutely.
Agreed. From a Metho-Catholicist himself. Because my mom's Catholic, my dad's Methodist. So, and I think I'm Catholic actually. My kids are Methodist, with my wife being Lutheran.
I went to Catholic school from like 5th grade through 8th grade. So I have like.
Bro, I'm all the way. Well, no, it was 5th grade all the way to graduated high school.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. My 5th grade through my freshman year of high school, and then my mom like sent me to boarding school after that. That's
with all those great memories. You just recently had a great memory and a new feather in your cap, becoming the AIWF American Heavyweight Champion. God dang, that's a lot of things to say.
Oh, yeah.
But with that being said, what other like moments in your career have been those feather in the cap style stuff?
So one of the best moments I had, I worked for an MPX in Bedford, Texas, Metroplex Wrestling, a weekly show. Worked with them straight for a while. Haven't been back there in ages. But there was so they have one of the belts they have is Addicts Championship, as they call their fans, like they're the Addicts, MPX Addicts. So they have an Addicts Championship. They have a Prospect Championship. The deal with the Prospect Championship is if once you win it, you successfully defend it 3 times, you get a guaranteed like title shot for the top belt. And there was one show where this guy named Stephen Kirby had both the Addicts belt and the Prospect belt. So first match of the show, I'm wrestling him for the Addicts belt. Some guys came down, shenanigans, match was thrown out. Then Kirby gets on the mic and was like, Sebastion, I have 2 belts. And he offered to give me a shot at the Prospect title in the main event that night. And so we wrestled him in the match. I won that match. That was my first belt at MPX. But I had a ton of like friends that came out to watch it. So there was like, I think like 52 or 53 my friends, people that I knew, or like people that I knew and their significant others like came out. So basically we had like an entire side of the seating was like people in like orange and blue, because my shirts when I was doing strong style and everything were orange and like a light blue color. So there was like orange and blue, just this entire like side of people, and just having all those people there cheering for me through the first match, and then they were mad when the shenanigans happened, and then cheering again when I got the second title shot, and then when Kirby came out for the main event, like he goes around, he's going around or whatever, like a ton of them like stood up and like turned their backs to it. Which I thought was like great. I got a kick out of. It was just cool to have all that support there. Like when I won that belt, it was a good moment. Like I said, it was my first belt with MPX, but just having all those people there and just the support was like the biggest thing for me in that match. So it's like definitely like kind of one of my favorite moments thus far.
That sounds like an amazing like sequence of events to cap off that feather in the cap moment and bring it full circle. So like as a fan, like just hearing you say it made me want to go see it.
Just like the whole like Black Goku chance just raining down is like holding up and stuff. It was good times.
It's awesome.
Awesome stuff, man. And like I said, I'm sure you've got plenty more waiting for you down the road in your career, and we're going to go ahead and we'll get into some of that later here. But for those who are not familiar, or at least Sebastian may not be familiar, but we take a break in the middle of all of the shenanigans here. Well, at least we're bringing other shenanigans here to the table, because guess what, everybody? It is that particular time, and if you know what time it is, we've been kind of hitting at it. So let's go ahead and do it right now, right? Shall we? There we go. It's time for wrestling's gold memes, everybody. So we kind of like to take a chuckle for those special little memes here in the world of wrestling here. And for some of these, if you know, you know. Especially when we come out with our first one here, kicking right off with a dinner date here with two individuals that really still can't stand each other to date. Well, actually, no, before that, it's brought to you by the new Super Usos Brothers movie.
That made it so much better that it was the wrong one.
Let's see. Wow. I mean,
Bowser.
I just with Sami Zayn down here in the freaking mushroom. In the Paul Heyman here. And then we got Riddle as Peach. That's killer. Oh my god. What is that? I can't even tell who that is. That's not
It's
Bray.
Kevin. It's Kevin.
Oh, it's Kevin.
Yeah, that's the
his beard's too damn big.
That's Kevin, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Kevin. Sammy gets me at the mushroom though. That's just funny.
He would be a mushroom.
All right, so now getting on here with our dinner date here. Oh my God, Vince Russo welcoming Jim Cornette about preparing for some unforgettable angles. Of course, Jim Cornette cannot stand the thought of Vince Russo here.
Those two don't like each other.
Oh my gosh, it's been documented in so many different video.
I mean, they'll tell you. It doesn't have to be documented.
Well, I mean, Cornette will remind everybody, on Dark Side of the Ring. And let's see our next one here. Here we go. The two carries demand to speak to the manager. Yes, that is Peach or Saraya. Sorry, and yes, that is Chris Jericho.
I do it too. My wife gets mad about that when they jump back and forth between WWE and AEW and they change names.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like I don't know.
They have to, dear. Relax.
I don't know. It's still gonna take me a while to get into that. And for no reason, here's something. So
Thank you. I was like, what is going on? Why is Sabu here? Whatever.
Was that the only appearance he did?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I had a lot of questions going into AEW. I already told you. Double or Nothing was garbage.
I should have brought Sabu there. Yeah.
And it hurts me. It hurts me as a wrestling fan to say that. Like, it truly, like, it pains me to say that because I want to see everybody win. And
Yeah.
AEW Double or Nothing just was not good. There were some good moments, but
Just overall, it was blowing worse than an F5, so I understand. So, and how about this one here? I showed up to work in my underwear today and immediately got kicked out. When wrestlers do it, they're superstars, but when I do it, I'm creepy. So,
Well, yeah, it's a true story.
I trust
they
me,
had to
I
get
was-
Randy though too, like of all people.
right.
It's kind of like
God's
I've never opted for like those types of trunks. Like I do like the biker style or whatever, but I'm like those are like just I don't know. I would just feel like I mean the trunks are like short enough, but there's just a certain like it's okay versus like this is just like I don't
Doesn't feel
I'm in my
right.
underwear. Like, it's just weird. That's like a bridge, like, a little bit too far.
Randy actually talks about it in there's somewhere in like the archives of WWE where he talks about the fact that how he makes money to be in his underwear on live TV. It's a podcast, something like he talks about it and it's hilarious.
Oh my! Oh, let's
One of
see.
my favorite wrestlers right there.
Yeah. And, okay, I'm getting to the next one. Don't worry.
They're saying
Like I said, I'm gonna put them outside because otherwise they're gonna be relentless.
Okay. All right.
Dude. No. Ryback actually challenged Goldberg, and I don't know if you saw me post about it on We Talk Wrestling, right?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that a little bit later. Here
Dang
because
it!
Yeah,
I'll shut it
because
down.
There's been some updates here. It's just
No.
there's been some updates about that, and there's just so much I want to get into Ryback, and it's not going to be a good thing. So,
He showed up on my TikTok. Like I don't like that man. I wanted to say something mean so that Ryback would block me on TikTok, so I didn't have to block.
I was going
him.
to say, can you block people from TikTok? Because Ryback,
you can. I mean, Ryback blocked me off of Twitter a long time ago.
Ryback
Nobody wants to see this match. Nobody
asked for it.
Sebastion. Ryback challenged Goldberg to a retirement match. Has that ever been a thought of yours as something you wanted to see?
No.
See? Stop.
Just to remind me of like the Lesnar like Goldberg match that like everybody shat upon when it was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, that had potential to be great, but I didn't even want to see that match at that point, actually, to be honest with you. But Ryback, of all people, just eat your creatine, go back to lifting, and shut up.
Right.
He's actually, I have to say, because I'm knocking the man and I don't know him one bit, so like it's wrong. So I will say this: if you want to get information on how to like get fit, the man seems to know his stuff. So like, I've cross-referenced some of my bodybuilder friends and my buddies that work out and are helping me get my health up and going. Like, the dude seems legit on that. So like, if anything else, follow him because you wanna better your health. But if you want to watch good wrestling, he's not the guy to go talk to it about.
Absolutely not. Oh my.
This is a great photo still, though.
Yeah, it's still a good.
We got the hidden gem himself, R-Truth. He's not a hidden gem. He shines bright like a diamond, but I said what I said.
That's all right. And we got one more here for you. I don't think we did this one yet, but I'm going to do it anyway if we did. But when you order from Wish in Mexico, and you get Juan Cena and Show Grande at your birthday party. So there you go.
Show Grande. Oh, that's great. I love that one.
Yes, Juan Cena, you can see. So,
Hey man, we actually got Juan Cena on TV. Remember?
we did. We did.
He was the masked Cena. When
Oh.
Cena wore, come on, man.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh my god. Yeah, that was horrible.
It's
Yeah.
his cousin, Juan Cena.
All right. So there we go with our golden memes for this week. There you go. Hopefully all y'all enjoyed it. I know. I get a little chuckle every now and then from getting those posted. We'll have plenty more for you next week on our podcast. So all right. So Sebastian, like I say, you've talked about, you have other projects involving, with many aspects here when we brought up YouTube and everything else. So kind of give us a little bit more elaborate, because you mentioned about short films and maybe some document or some type of series that you're running. So any type of work that you can elaborate on and what you got out there?
I have a comic book that I'm working on. It's called Cheerleader Karate School, and it's kind of like if you took, at least in my mind, if you took Supernatural, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, put it in like a blender, you would get Cheerleader Karate School. It was something that I've been working on for a long time. It was originally a comic book, and then since I've been shooting like little shorts, web series, and stuff of my own, I was like, well, I'm going to shoot like a pilot proof of concept type thing for it. Shot that. It was an unmitigated pile of suck that I tried to excise from my mind and every trace of it from the internet. And then I decided to go back to making it a comic book graphic novel. I'm still kind of going back and forth between how I want to release it. But I went back to comic books, and I have to worry about scheduling or budgets or deal with actors, and I wouldn't have to make any sort of compromises or anything from the story that I want to tell. So I'm excited for that. It's just taken a long time because it's like finding a good artist for it. A good artist costs money. So we're kind of slow playing it. But I'm hoping that by like the fall or winter, that it will be out digitally. I think I'm gonna do like a small print run. I'm just kind of see how that goes, but I'll be mostly pushing it kind of like digital. And then on through Amazon, through the Kindle deal, you can get Dusk versus Cheerleader Karate School, which is like a crossover between my ladies of Cheerleader Karate School and a buddy of mine, David Dow out of Denton, Texas. He had Dusk Comics, which he'd been self-publishing for quite a few years. That's like Dusk is his flagship title and character. CKS is my flagship one, so we like put them together and had like a fun little short story, which you can get on the Kindle like right now.
Oh, sweet. Excellent.
That's really cool.
I mean, it's kind of like I gotta like joke about this, how like the principal industries that I'm interested in, that I dream about, are the ones that are so easy to get lost in because everybody and their mother can do it. And it's like you have to have that lightning in a bottle moment where the right person at the right time sees the right thing, be it right, you're in the right locker room with the right person who sees the right match, or you're streaming like a short you did at a festival and somebody sees it, or you happen to be working on a comic book and somebody catches that, and things take off from there. So, or you go viral with it, or whatever. It's just film, professional wrestling, comic books, like they're just very, very stressful, potential for great avenues, goals, but there's also the potential for just floundering spectacularly. So there's like some days honestly kind of wake up and like wish I had like different dreams or different things that I wanted to do, but it's like this is what makes me me. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm gonna try my best to make something happen in. But it can be daunting, discouraging, and work to kind of push through all the no's and stuff to kind of get that yes that you hope is like right around the corner.
So with all that love of comic books and building that world and cinematography plus your wrestling stuff, let's play a little game real quick before we dive more into this. All right. In the world of wrestling, you're starting to see now, especially with like I don't know, how old are you? May I ask?
Really?
Come on, let's put it out there.
I am 41 as of April.
Oh, you're still young. Like,
I'm old. You see like this?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
That's just knowledge, bro. Like, relax.
That's why I tell myself so I don't get like super depressed about it.
So I'm in the 36th realm. Okay.
See,
okay, you're old. You're dust. We get it.
Yeah. See, okay. So I'm 48. Okay.
You're not that old, Ruby. You're still not old.
I'm 48. Okay. So I just want to let this guy know, hey, he's talking to somebody older here that's still trying to, hey, it's all right.
But so my generation of like the wrestling fans and all that stuff in the comic books, it kind of like all was there simultaneously, right? Like all of it, and we always would make correlations to things like certain wrestlers being a certain comic book star. So if I say John Cena, who are you relaying comic book wise? Who is that?
Well, that's low hanging fruit because at this point it's like Peacemaker.
No, not even that. Like before all that. But you're right. Like,
I mean, like you would. Because I know some people kind of.
You can go comic book, you can go anime, anything. Because for like us, it was always him and being Goku. Like he was the Goku of the wrestling world. Just overpowered. Always powering up. So then you go Brock Lesnar.
As far as
Ruby, you try too. Come on, who do you got? Like who do you correlate nerd wise with him?
Well, yeah, I got one in mind after he guesses Brock.
I'm trying to think of like a good one. Rhino.
Ooh, that's a good. I was gonna say Juggernaut. So I like yours though. I like yours a lot. I think yours is better. What do you got, Ruby?
I was gonna go with Rey Mysterio with that.
Shut up. I mean, with Rey Mysterio, I mean, he's done them all. He's huge in the comic books, with like doing the Joker and stuff. So you've only done the Goku, right? The black. That's the only like real super nerdy.
Like
character
gear-wise,
based?
yeah. No, before I switched to like the cinephile thing, I was looking at sort of doing other. So I wasn't just focused like on Dragon Ball Z. Like I was looking at other animes, kind of like style my gear, like after, because like I said, like Rey Mysterio does his thing with some of the comic book stuff. The New Day, like they've done, Dragon Ball Z related gear,
Rangers.
And stuff like that. So I thought about like kind of I started looking into getting gear made that would kind of touch upon some other kind of geeky shows and things that I'm a fan of. But it like I just ended up switching before I could really go down the rabbit hole of design and actually getting the gear and stuff.
Right on. I just love the correlation that we can get from not only wrestling but like pop culture. Like, okay, so I'm a huge tag team guy. I always have been a good like fans of tag team wrestling. The Bar is arguably one of my favorite tag teams to ever be established together. I knew Cesaro and Sheamus could come together and make this greatness, and they used to do the Dragon Ball Z fusion dance at the beginning of each one of their things. So, like, you ever just sat back and noticed like one of your the guys maybe going still today that you enjoy watching, like paying homage to their nerd love, that like it's that new cycle?
I haven't seen it all that much with some of the ones that I follow. But I mean, I like haven't been following like today or most recent stuff in the past like few years with all that much like consistency as far as like the shows and stuff go. Like I'll have like my wrestlers that I go to and I'll just kind of like YouTube their matches and stuff, but I haven't been like sitting down and just sitting through like the various like shows from like beginning to end on any sort of like regular basis. I probably should do more of that. And I hear like, you know, guys in the locker room and stuff like that are talking about this episode or that episode or this week or last week and stuff like that. And I just haven't like, I'm not in those conversations just because I'm not watching like that. I'm still watching a bunch and studying a bunch, but it's just I'm picking and choosing.
You're doing it differently. Makes sense.
Yeah, just picking and choosing more as opposed to just sitting down and just watching the shows because it's like I have so much going on like in my day from like the 9 to 5, and then I could go deal with my dogs and then get to work on my own stuff, like be it the comic book or the YouTube like related stuff, the shorts or stop motion stuff I do with my action figures. So it's like I don't have the time to sit there and watch like that. So I'll end up when I'm at work, I have like a laptop that I pretty much work on, and then I have like a desktop. So the desktop is always like running like I'm working off the laptop, but the desktop is always running wrestling. I'll like add stuff to like a playlist on YouTube and it'll just be going. So I'll watch it like that, or like when I'm at the gym and I'm doing cardio for like a warm up or cardio after lifting or stuff like that. I'll have like bring up YouTube, and then I'll be on the elliptical or the stair thing and like watching matches and stuff that way. That's how I get it in. Like I said, I don't have those 2-hour blocks to just sit down and you know peep the regular stuff.
I will tell you, you're missing out right now, especially in WWE.
Yeah,
they're doing really good stuff.
I do like the bloodline stuff that's been going on. I mean,
it's even breaking away from that now. Like the way they're really setting it, like their storylines and they're like intermixed and everything. It's just so beautiful to really like. I saw we bring up our golden memes here every week. I saw a meme talking about like how's it feel to be back in the golden age of wrestling, like because it's kind of what it feels like. It's kind of got that sense of like good things are coming, and yeah, I'm proud to be a wrestling fan and in the business too right now because of just how the scenarios are going about, and I'm just a freaking nerd. So I mean, I got Typhoon sitting over here, man, and then you're a figure guy, Omos, because you know we got to support Omos,
right? Yeah, like I collect the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, your standard like Marvel Legends type stuff, G.I. Joe, and then Transformers as well.
Yes, my dude, man.
So
I like this guy.
But it's like I've had to like Hasbro, and it's all like all these like are pretty much like all Hasbro stuff. So Hasbro's been just killing my wallet recently, and they keep putting out figures like all the time, and they're also like raising prices too. So it's like in the last like year and a half, I haven't really like bought like all that much. I'm trying to be more like adult about and judicious like with my purchases and trying to wait on stuff to hit sale prices or clearance and stuff like that. Cause it's just I've been taking like a beating trying to get like all this.
I just want to complete my gargoyles from NECA. That's it.
See, like
all I want to do right now.
I've just been so I was in on the Masterverse figures, He-Man like Master of the Universe Masterverse figures too, because I said I wasn't gonna get them. Then I watched the show and I was like, "Oh, screw it, I'll get them." And then I was like, "No, I had to like pull the cord on that," and I sold the ones that I had. I was like, I gotta pare down what I'm buying, and I know like I've collected friends that are in on like NECA for the Gargoyles and also for the Ninja Turtles, and of course there's I guess 50 million different companies that are doing Ninja Turtle toys these days. It's weird how they're just spreading.
Ninja Turtles too saturated. I'm sorry.
But I was like, I like them, and I like watched the toy review videos on them and stuff, and I really like them, and I really like Gargoyles. But I'm like, no, I'm just like, I gotta draw the line.
I have the Gremlins and those, and then of course I have some Lightning figures too, but I only collect like SPD and stuff.
Mhm.
So Doggy Kruger is my favorite Power Ranger.
Mhm.
But yeah, upstairs is even worse. I got Voltron. I got. I was able to get my original Voltron. The 1986 original Voltron. I have it fully completed. I used to play with that as a kid, man. Great
So
smart
of course, like I have like the original like Megazord is like somewhere back there, and then I have like a couple other like detoffs of like figures and stuff. The only reason why like majority of like that stuff there is not open is because I don't have like the shelf space to display it.
Ruby, you take it away, because if not, I'm going to keep talking nerd with him, because he just brought another question up. Like
I know.
So are you box or inbox? Like
The only stuff I'm boxed for is Fantastic Four, because Fantastic Four is my all-time favorite comic book. It's not the first comic book that I got into, but it's the first one that I actually remember collecting, like going to 7-Eleven back in the day when they had like comic books. I would get those. So for each of the Fantastic Four, because they've had like 3 waves of them in the past couple of years, I have like of the main 4, I get 2 of them, so I can have them carded, which you saw there, and then I have them like in my display shelves, like open as well. Like those are the only things I do carded, and then like they're like that's like a shelf of just Thing, because the Thing is my all-time favorite comic book hero. Juggernaut's my all-time favorite comic book villain. So I'm working with my tattoo guy on a custom tat that's going to be like the Juggernaut squaring off against the Thing, which I'm super excited about.
That's actually going to be sick.
Oh yeah, like
Magneto's my favorite villain of all time.
Mm.
So Magneto is my villain, and then Flash is my favorite good guy of all time.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm one of those guys. Had to go both generations.
Curious about how that movie's going to be.
I'm pumped to see it, man. I'm pumped to see it.
I'm in it for Keaton. Like I've like, to me, Ezra was miscast from the word go as Barry Allen. But I hate everything like Snyderverse and like anyway.
Oh, you actually hate? So I like the Justice League Snyder cut. That's the only thing that makes that whole thing worthwhile.
The fact that you have to like have these like ultimate cuts and stuff like that to make the movies watchable, that says enough, like right there.
I agree.
But I'm in the Flash for Michael Keaton, because I have just like, if this leads to him, which I'm super pissed that they shelved the whole Batgirl movie, because I wanted to see him in that. But if this, having him in the universe, leads to us getting a Batman Beyond live action movie with Michael Keaton as old man, Bruce,
yes, and then hopefully we can go into Wingbat, or not Batwing.
But
yes,
hopefully. I'm crossing my fingers that it's not going to be just like a one-off with Keaton with the new Flash.
And then we can get Dick Grayson.
That has to be like
his Nightwing on.
That has to be.
I'm ready. Okay, Ruby. Now have the floor. Here
Yeah, I know. I'm sure, like I said, we'll get back to that here in a short bit here. But detouring back here to wrestling here, at the stage in your career, what other sites or plans do you hope to achieve in regards to like areas or promotions to work in, or maybe even a bucket list of matches that you want to cross off?
This one is like places. It's just wanting just opportunities and just places to go. I mean, of course, like I know like a bunch of like my friends and stuff have had like tryouts and stuff on like with AEW and stuff. So it's like I want to do that, of course. Try to get on there, just have an opportunity to show people what I can do. There's certain states that I want to hit. I've been really wanting to work like in the Northeast, like New York, New Jersey, type of those areas around there. I have like friends over there that I've reached out to and stuff to try to get something going. Like wrestle like on the West Coast, Canada, UK, Japan, of course. Like when I first got into the business, my goal was at the time Ring of Honor was like doing its thing. So my goal was like Japan and like Ring of Honor, and of course now those goals have kind of changed and evolved over the years. But Japan, at least once, is all still at the top of my list, and just more opportunities to work anywhere. Really, just work with good people. I don't exactly have like a list as far as like specific people and stuff. It's just wanting the opportunity just to work good people for good shows that are just well produced and well run at this point.
Oh, yeah, I
More
mean,
just more opportunities. That's just where I'm at. It's just more chances to show people what I can do. That's all I crave at this point.
oh man, I mean that's totally understandable. I mean, getting your name out there, and of course going to different places. I'm sure the AIWF will uh kind of get that name out there, and if there's
Yeah,
other
that's the one thing I liked about having a chance to go for it and actually capturing it was, again, it's just trying to connect with some of the promotions that are under that banner and just go work for them in some different states, stuff like that, and just kind of get around and just get myself out there. It's just I need more people to see me. I'm gonna make the effort. I'm not gonna sit back and complain that people aren't seeing me. I'm gonna make the effort to get it done. But again, there's also a fair amount of like kind of pushing past the there's a mental side to all this as far as like pushing past just the discouragement when things don't go your way or things don't pan out as quickly as you would like them to, which is what I always try to repeat the mantra of just pushing through the nose to get through that yes. It's there, it's out there. You just got to push through all the nose and the discouragement and kind of disillusionment that comes with that. But if it were easy, everybody would do it, and all the kind of like after school special cliche stuff that they tell you to basically say just suck it up and keep pushing. It does get there are hard days with that, with any walk of life, with any goal that you have or stuff that you want to do. I mean, you're going to encounter that, so it's just a matter of being on top of your mental game and just pushing through.
yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it does get a little bit tough. Sometimes there are times where things don't go your way, and it's definitely easier said than done at times to just push through. But I mean, with me, it's you know yeah, I mean, with me personally, right now, I'm still trying to recoup from an MCL sprain or just something going on with my ligaments that are just not right.
Mm.
You know, and then I had to brace my other knee, and now I'm feeling and hearing that knee, pop or
Yeah.
crack, whatever, every now and then because I'm bracing my weight on that. So it's
Mm.
just, you know, um, I don't know. Like I said, I got to keep going through therapy on that, and once I'm cleared and I'm confident to get back in the ring, then cool. Um, yeah. So, well, that's awesome. I mean, because I would like to get opportunities too. Like I said, I've only got about a handful, one handful number of near uh with that here. So, um, yeah. So, I mean, with that here, because we were talked about in in the beginning how when we're going up and down the road,
Mm.
or even, not necessarily here, as far as you know, for the time that you've been in the business so far, I'm sure you've gotten to either, uh, you know, you know, chat with, talk with fans, meet the fans. I'm sure you've had many opportunities to do that. But is there anything as far as like a memorable road story or even a fan experience that stuck with you that's either funny or special to you in some other way that you like to share in regards to that?
I guess the best one being like, which I already said, like touched upon like earlier, was like we're getting the whole like Black Goku nickname from the kids at the church camp. I think from a fan perspective, that was always like um, my favorite memory. Anytime that I've had, so um, I've been to some shows where I've had like kids. You go to shows with these kids, you're not going to use any out of sort of profanity or what have you, or anything that's beyond the pale of what you should be saying in front of little kids. But it's funny because you go to those shows and you act like that, and you try to be like that, but then you have these little like 10 and 11-year-olds that are giving you like the 4-letter word business. Like that's always a trip. Like to me, and it was on a recent show. Like I'm coming around doing my thing, and I'm just talking my noise and stuff like that. And this kid, like, he's got to be 9. And he kind of like he's at the guardrail or whatever, and he comes up, and I'm kind of leaning in, talking trash, whatever. And he's kind of like, I see him kind of like leaning in or whatever. You kind of see like he's kind of like trying to make sure like his whatever parent was bringing him there was kind of like out of earshot or whatever. And he's kind of like leaning in. And oh God, what did he say? The first time he came out, he was like, he told me I needed to like shut the F up. And this is like a 9-year-old or whatever, and I'm just like, it took me like out of the moment. I'm trying to like stay locked into the moment. I'm just like like this. Kid says that to me. I'm like, bro, like what? Like, where are your parents? Like, what is going on here? And he had said that to me, and they said somebody else was gonna kick my effing butt and this and that. I'm just like, what is going on here? Like, it just made me laugh. Those drives like when I get like kids like cussing me out, like I think I'm doing my job.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh my gosh, I always want to retort with my thanks. I was like, boy, did you kiss your mom with that filthy mouth?
Yes, I mean it is like I was like legit thrown and like taken out of the moment for like a good 30, 45 seconds, because I was like, why are you saying this to me? Like, what is going on? Like, who is raising you, sir? Who is raising you, young sir? Like, what's going on at your home? Like, do we need do I need to pull you aside, just have like talk to me, like what's going on? Like, what's behind this profane outburst here? Like, what's really going on at home? Like, you can talk to me. Like, I was put in that sort of almost like parental moment, like of concern. It was like when the I hate you-ness from me to the fans kind of went away, and then like I put on like the parent hat, and I'm just like, son, just what's going on? Just then like 30 seconds later, I'm like locked in and doing my thing and stuff like that. But it was just funny, like to get to that point with little kids. I don't know. Those are fun times.
I gotta say, well, what state was this, in the state of Texas, or was this in Arkansas?
Oh no, it was like out in West Texas with Borger, Texas. Motivate Pro Wrestling, MPW. Love the show. Love what we're doing there. And yeah, it was a few kids out there that are
wilding out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So one of the things to use their profanity.
I mean, they do. I work with kids for a living. Like, that's what I get paid to do. And they will sneak them in as many times as they can.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have 4 of my own that do the exact same thing. Like, and I'm a sailor, so I'm not no saint. I can't. I play video games, and that was going to lead my next question. I mean, next thing is we haven't talked about it yet. You're showing us your nerdism, and I love it because I am just an open nerd myself, and I love all things video games, all things comic books. We just watched Ant-Man this afternoon.
What, the Quantumania one?
Yeah. It was? I didn't mind it. Why?
Oh my God. So it just, outside of like Jonathan Majors, which, is free falling from his star status recently, which I'm kind of wondering how that's going to affect things going forward, since they were going to basically tailor their plans going forth MCU wise around like Kang and stuff. So I'm kind of wondering what they're going to do there, but just the plot was weak. Bill Murray was the worst like stunt cast, and they've done like some stunt casting over the years.
Yeah.
The MCU, but his was like by far like the worst to this point. Just there was literally no point with him. You could take him out of the movie; it would change nothing. The the people or the peoples of the quantum universe and their little plight that they were going through of oppression from Kang and stuff like that, I didn't care about. You had Kmart, Michelle Rodriguez, for that one character of them that I just didn't care for. MODOK was an abject disaster. On the one hand,
Terrible.
I understand what they did. I thought it was cool, kind of that callback to bringing back, him in the way that they did. But on the other hand, when they had like the butt shot and stuff like that, I was like, what are we doing? And then like the ending, they could have hit us with like the sacrifice, kind of more dramatic ending, with Hope and Scott like making the sacrifice to be Kang, kind of trapping themselves in the quantum realm, whatever. Spoilers, I'm sorry, it's been out for a while. It sucks. You should have seen it by now. Or not. I don't know. But they didn't do that. They had the happy, cutesy like ending. Like it just could have been better than it was. Like the first one was great, of course. Second one was okay. It just suffered from, because a lot of the time these trilogies, like the third one is like the worst one in these types of movies or these tentpole franchise type things. And I think Quantumania was just was just one of those ones that adds to the statistic of like third movies and trilogies being like the worst one.
I mean, I kind of agree with you on that one, but I enjoyed it. So,
I mean, I like Paul Rudd is great. I like whatever the chick's name that plays Hope. He's good.
Him and his daughter's character like development together was my favorite part of the whole movie.
I'm like thinking ahead to what they're going to do as far as like Cassie and going forth in the MCU and the Young Avengers possibly, and that sort of stuff that they're building with that. But that's
why I'm pumped right there.
It could have been, like a little better.
Besides the movie, because we already spoiled enough, and I like to keep it still fresh for everybody. But it's okay, whatever, live, right? What kind of video games are we playing? What are we doing? I just got done with Hot Wheels and Ark today.
Shooters mostly. Sports games, fighting games. I'm big into Injustice, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter,
Ooh, nice.
Need for Speed. Used to be like big on like Madden, but after a certain point, I just stopped really buying and playing those because it was basically you're paying like $55-$60 every year for just a glorified roster update because the games were essentially the same thing. They throw in like a new animation or something like that, but they were essentially like the same game. So I just got out of that. Your Call of Duty, your Battlefield, been into that. Although the last like Battlefield 2042 was hot garbage. I haven't been back on that in forever. Gotham Knights, I've got that eventually. Played that. It was like okay. And I've been replaying the Miles Morales Spider-Man on my PS5, and then I'm gonna get the first Spider-Man, which I have on my PS4, but I'm gonna play it for the PS5. So I'm gonna get that and replay those.
Great game. Both of those games are amazing.
They are just phenomenal games. And then I saw like the gameplay trailer recently for the next Spider-Man movie and what they're doing with like Venom. And I'm not like a huge Venom guy by any stretch of the imagination. But I like what they were doing there as far as like the black suit and just like the look they were giving it. Cause they're giving like this leathery sort of like skin, like texture stuff to it. I'm here for that.
Nice.
And then for like my PC, I play there, which is the Old Republic.
Yes, that's what I have on mine too.
Is it's been out for a decade
ever.
And I started playing that game like in the beta, and I just like 2 weeks ago finished like my first like origin story, like all the way for one of the classes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really, really sad. But
I've never completed it.
Those types of games, like if I don't have like a regular like group of people to run with, like I get bored and I just fall off. I know some people get on MMOs and just in gaming in general, to just be in their own world by themselves. Like for single player games, cool, like Spider-Man and stuff like that. I understand that. It's cool. I'm gonna play by myself. But for MMOs and games where you can have the multiplayer stuff, like I want to play with other people. I want to run with other people. And if I don't have that regularly, I kind of get bored and fall off. So that's happened many, many times with the Old Republic, where I've had like literal years of like, not playing and then getting back into it, getting in a guild, falling off, wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, so you're in the same. I just never found anybody. I just started playing Diablo 2 again, remastered on the PS5, well, PS4. But I started on the PS4 and now I have the PS5. But we play a lot of Ark Survival Evolved, and then my son got me into Fortnite. Like
I've never touched Fortnite, and I never.
Don't do it. Don't.
I didn't like it.
They have a zero build mode that's actually really fun. Like this,
it's just not my type of game. And then I started looking at recently, the AEW game. I was looking at
Fight Forever
of that, and like what people were saying about it, because I'd seen like I don't know if it was like a screenshot in like a wrestling group on Facebook or something where some people were rapping on it because like the they were like, oh, when does it come out on PS2 and stuff, just talking about like the graphics and stuff on not being this or that. But I was like, I don't need like ultra real, simulation where everything's like just real and detailed down to like the beads of sweat on their brow and blah, blah, blah. Just give me good, just game controls. Because a lot of people were in there were saying that the controls and the idea of the controls in the game, the system was reminiscent of your like No Mercy and other sort of Nintendo 64 wrestling games, which were fantastic just from like a gameplay standpoint. I'm like, I don't need super, fancy graphics and stuff. Like I still can get on with and have fun with Super Fire Pro Wrestling. Like, and if you play that game, like, like how kind of like low sort of like 8-bit looking, that game is, but from a control standpoint, it's phenomenal.
I was playing Revenge the other night, so.
Yeah.
WCW NWO Revenge.
Yeah. See.
Yeah. I really was, man. I had my N64 hooked up. Gaming out on it.
That's what I've been doing recently. Like,
I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see what it does. Like, it's going to be better than Impact's version of a wrestling game.
Yeah.
TNA made that hot garbage. Oh, my God. That thing was... I went home, played that thing for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, had the game completed, everything unlocked, went back to the store and was like, this has to be turned back in, please. Like, let me get my money back for this. This was bullshit. It was...
It's I think gaming in general is just frustrating anyway, because again, you're talking about like inflation, higher prices and stuff. So it's like we're paying more for some of these games, and it's like the advent of technology and internet and high-speed downloads and stuff like that, where they can patch games and stuff. So we're paying all this money for glorified like betas.
Yeah.
That they fix with like a day one patch or like a week one patch and all that kind of stuff. It's like this half-ass, like give us this half-ass like unfinished product. And like we'll complain about it. We as the gaming community will complain about it and turn around the next day and like go buy the next thing that's come out. Like I've gotten out of like day one stuff. I just wait for like Black Friday.
Yeah.
The $20 or $2 for whatever, like Walmart on Black Friday or stuff like that, or just like,
I do the PlayStation Plus membership, and whatever they just give me for free is what I play usually now.
Yeah, that's what I Miles Morales, because that's free on Plus.
I was
wondering why I started like playing that again. It's just
I've been playing Maneater. Maneater, where you're the shark swimming around like, yeah, it's crazy. So I'm into survival games. I'm 7 Days to Die, Stranded Deep, Forest, all this kind of stuff. Maneater is like this survival shark game where you become like this big shark. It'd be cool if it was open world and like your buddies and you could like play and like you could destroy each other or something like that kind of thing. Like Grand Theft Auto for sharks. Like that'd be kind of fun, but it's not. You can jump on the water and take fishermen off their boats. It's actually really fun. Like, hey, make fun of me. But we also downloaded Hot Wheels again, and I'm excited to play that again because Hot Wheels Unleashed was an amazing. I'm a huge racing game fan. So
See, like the only racing I did was like Need for Speed. Those games, which I love.
I mean,
but like,
nothing
again,
can beat.
After like the last two of them that were dropped, like I just swore off. Like Need for Speed is actually what made me swear off day one purchases because I got the Run. I got day one, and that game was just beyond hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
Like no more for like day one. My brother, one of my brothers, is always into like your Gran Turismo and your more like simulating, like race simulator type stuff. Like, no, that stuff's like
I like that.
For me, I like the arcade, like stuff. But
we got into NASCAR Heat a little bit recently too, and that one you can tune that car up and down. Like, I'm into like the aerodynamics, but no, I like arcade. Hot Wheels is where it's at, dude. It's so dumb, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's really you get a good group of friends on there and do that. At least you're not playing like we played Uno one night, didn't we, Ruby?
Yeah. I'm a hardcore gamer. I play Uno and I play Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. Watch him play Fortnite is hilarious.
I mean, Uno can start some fights.
Oh no, I actually like that Uno game. That's pretty cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with some Uno.
I mean, you get somebody, with those draw fours.
My kids watch up, down, down all the time with those guys. Xavier Woods and them. They love watching those guys play Uno. My kids will sit hours and watch those four play Uno, bro.
It's funny because like I kind of like years back would kind of scoff at the idea of like sitting through like gameplay videos and stuff like that, just essentially just watching other people like play games, stuff like that. And I find myself doing that a lot more here and there, like recently. And then again, it's kind of like I'm kicking myself for not like jumping on that whole train years back before
right
everybody and their mother's doing it, because it's like just the whole like influencer thing and niche that people have like now made, to just have people like give me money just to play games. Like I'm really sad I missed the boat on that.
We had like a whole GTA Friday night race night thing where we had a bunch of guys that we all just played GTA with and did like heists and whatnot. We'd come together and like we'd make tracks and whatnot and do races. And like, man, if we would have had the knowledge and the whereabout at that time to record all of that and post it, like, dude, there was fights over the weirdest things, and like the racing was competitive. I miss those days. It was fun. It was fun. It was aggressive too. But Call of Duty days when we were playing like, God, what was that one where you only had like a tomahawk, ballistic knife, riot shield, the game mode.
I can't think. I know what you're talking about, but I can't like think of the title for it.
Because they had that where you could go into the private rooms and do these crazy like gun game and all these other. That shit was so much fun. But we'd play that all the time, dude. Oh, we'd be cussing each other out, Oh, dude, it was so much fun.
Kids these days will never know like the true heyday of like first person shooter lobbies and the conversation and unending amount of trash talk that would go on. Like
so much, and most of those guys became like good friends of mine. So yeah, it's good to meet another nerd. That's all I'm saying, man.
Oh man,
I am cultured. I fit into a lot of boxes and a lot of circles.
That's the best way to be. It's to be one shape is so square.
I mean, like I kind of like
be around like me.
It's the whole like jack of all trades, master of none type thing. It's like sometimes I wonder if I kind of like, it's good that I have like comic books and the film and the wrestling, but I kind of wonder at times if I would have been better served if I could have like really pared down more on just one avenue, one lane and stuff like that. It's like I can't. because I have these other interests. I can't not do work to make strides in them, trying to make something happen. I can't just silo myself off to just one of them. But I kind of wonder sometimes, like, if I'd have been better served being able to do that. But just knowing I can't, I don't dwell on it all that often or all that long but I kind of wonder at times.
Yeah,
Right.
you know. It's but no, man, it's yeah. Like you said, I'm kind of just a hardcore gamer myself, and I haven't touched. Hey, in my defense, I haven't touched Prominence Poker in like forever, so it's okay.
I'm gonna learn poker one of these days. I have no idea how to play poker.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
keep telling
that's
myself I'm gonna
a
learn.
gentleman's game. You got to know how to play poker.
Well, one day one of these days when I'm at work and I'll pause on my wrestling that's on my desktop and I will bring up how to play poker on YouTube.
So, real quick before we, wind down here and say goodbye to you, who are you watching besides yourself, besides Sebastion? Who else out there do you have your eyes on as progressing the business?
Mostly, I have my guys I watch for style purposes and stuff that I try to pull onto myself, but there's some other guys that I look at as more like goal type things, and like a lot of it's like AEW guys as far as like your Darby Allins and your Ricky Starks and Sammy Guevara, guys like that I've been, and it's been of course some years, but I've been in some different shows where I've been in the locker room with those guys, and like seeing them go from like Joe Schmo like indie show to those heights that they're getting in there. It's more of like a goal type thing, or like it's affirming it's affirmation of the process. Because like I said, I think this business is truly where what you put into it reflects what you can get out of it. So seeing them in those where they're at is an affirmation of that, and that process where you just got to keep pushing and keep pushing and pushing, and like eventually you can break through and be successful, or achieve some of the goals that you've set for yourself. So I kind of look at them in that regard, not so much like I said to pull from what they do to kind of from a study repertoire type thing or whatever, but just an overall affirmation of the thought that push through and believe it, you can achieve it, which is cheesy as all get out, but
Hey,
it's an
sometimes you gotta be
affirmation
cheesy,
of it.
man.
It's a true
Sometimes you gotta be
affirmation of
cheesy.
that. Yeah, I mean, like it's simple. It's simple and true. Like you believe it, you achieve it. You push through, you do the work, put in the work, you can see the results. So it's just a kick in the butt to just try to keep making it happen.
I'm a big Ricky Starks fan though too. So like that dude's good. That dude's good.
Yep. So so you got any upcoming events within the I guess June's a pretty hot month usually. Kids getting out of school. Is there you got anything on your books upcoming for this month?
Yes. So Colorado this Saturday with RCW.
Okay.
I'm in Shawnee, Oklahoma, I believe it is, with Empire Pro Wrestling on the look at my handy dandy calendar. Yeah, 17th is Empire Pro Wrestling, which is in Shawnee, Oklahoma, and then the 24th is TSW, Texas Style Wrestling. With them, they do like block tapings of stuff, of content for their website. So like the episode that I was in last Saturday, the episode that dropped there, I was my debut match with them was on there, and then I'm set with them for June, as well as the other couple tapings they're having this year. So I'm excited about that because again, to have an opportunity to show them what I can do. They liked what I do, so got more out of it. So that's what my June is looking like. Trying to, of course, pack more in there and trying to just message promotions, send out my standard stuff that I do, and just try to be persistent /
There you go.
pestering. And just try to get more dates and just more opportunities. I'd like to be working a lot more than I do currently. But it's just one of those things where it's like sometimes I'm like super busy and then sometimes I'm not. So I'm just trying to get that consistency. That's what I'm in search of. Because in a perfect world, I'm either in a wrestling ring, on a wrestling show, or I'm on a film set, either of my own or working on somebody else's. Like there's somebody at my 9 to 5 that hit me up about doing some video work of her singing as well as a music video. So we got to reach out to a recording studio this week to kind of put those plans in motion to get that going. And then I'm always, like I said, trying to get some music videos going because I've had people hit me up about like prices and rates and stuff like that for doing it. And I tell them and then I don't hear from them again. So it's like trying to find people with follow through to get some of those like, film things, film gigs going because I had plans on trying to make the little film and video production side hustle kind of more of like the main thing. In a perfect world, that's what I'd be doing. Like my main thing would be like during the week, I'm on a film set. On the weekend, I'm wrestling. And I had some plans, thoughts, ideas to kind of transition to that for a full-time gig prior to the Rona apocalypse, coming on and screwing everything up. So that kind of put me off of that. So I'm trying to kind of get back on track with some of those kind of goals and aspirations in that regard. But we'll see how it all goes in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. So, man, I'll tell you, it's been awesome talking with you here, and like I said, I'm glad that you were able to get on here tonight. Didn't know if you were able to make it, but like I said, like I said, sometimes days just wear us down, and we need to rest. Lord
Oh,
knows.
like it's like I was like knocked out for a minute, and I like woke up to like grab my phone or whatever, and the message was like, "Hey, you still good to come on?" I was like, I looked at the time, I was like, "Oh crap!" So I was like hoping that like it wasn't like too far past where you guys can still fit me in. Which again, I apologize for my tardiness profusely.
No big deal. We had enough to talk about at the beginning.
Oh yeah. Well, we always find, like I said, obviously with us, we always find stuff to talk about. We banter, and we've always got things going on on the show here too every Sunday night. Once again at 9 p.m. Central. And no, man, but it was great talking with you. Get a chance to know you, and like I said, I'm getting a lot of all the AIWF talent that I get a chance to come across here. It's pretty awesome, and I mean, it's pretty cool with that's going on, and of course, who knows? Maybe eyeing down at the new world heavyweight champion that just got crowned this past Saturday or yesterday in the Golden Boy Greg Anthony. So who knows?
Ooh.
So yeah, definitely something. Definitely a beard stroker there. You're like, I wonder, right?
Keep taking.
So who knows, man? I mean, yeah,
Anytime,
that'd be a good champion versus
I had,
champion battle.
Like after I got the belt, I made sure to put out like a promo about it. It's again my thing. My thing always with me is opportunities. I just want opportunities, anytime, anywhere, any show, with anybody. That's what I'm about. So I'm trying to push that.
There you go.
The hustle's real.
Yes.
Yeah, and we appreciate the opportunity you've given us to come on here and kind of share some light on what's been happening in your career and in of course projects outside of wrestling, and then of course what you got upcoming, and we appreciate the time you've taken here with us here for this evening, and once again, where can others follow you on social media?
Everything is pretty much Sebastion Envi. So it's I spell it with an ION, not IAN, but SEBASTIONENVI as an igloo, and that's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything social media wise is Sebastion Envi. And then my YouTube channel is Skunk Life Media.
You say Skunk Life Media?
Yes. Because my so it was I'm a tourist, so it was Torian Films for the longest time. And then Skunk was my pit that I lost. That was my soul pup. So once I lost him, I wanted to kind of keep my memory of him and stuff going. So I decided to change like my film group title to Skunk Life Media.
Okay.
So that's what I changed like my YouTube to. So it's like YouTube / I guess the @ then Skunk Life Media.
Okay, awesome. And well, like I said, I just searched Sebastion Envi on YouTube because I wanted to see some of your matches because I'm pretty sure you had some. So
yeah.
you know,
There's lots on there.
but yeah,
I'm
but
hitting
no,
right
that's
here on Instagram right now.
Yes, follow me. My numbers are pathetically anemic. I need people to follow me.
See, I just follow.
Good stuff.
I got you.
Nerds gotta stick together, bro.
That's right.
there you go. All right, man. Well, hey, like I said, I know you think you may have somebody else that maybe thought about me wanted to chime in, maybe be on the show. Like I said, we can always be reached False Count everywhere. You know, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Of course, if you want to contact us, you can message us on Facebook, or you know, you can email us falsecounteverywhere@gmail.com. You know, that is our contact, and you know, we'll reach back out and see what we can work out. But man, I appreciate the opportunity to get a chance to meet you, and of course, good story, great stuff for wrestling, and of course, Z's side fulfilling his nerdism of the night. You know, he.
I mean, I could literally keep talking like
Right.
because I've seen Spider-Man.
I was trying to, you know, just like I was trying to rein it in some because I was like, I could just, you know, I could keep going on this stuff.
I got to see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse early. I mean, now it's out.
Did you get to see it, or are you like?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
if that movie does not get like animated performance,
mm-hmm.
it was rigged, 100% rigged. Like
I've seen nothing but kind of like glowing reviews,
dude.
About it.
I thought it was very well done, and the callbacks, like, although the Spider-Man universe is period right now, like even the stuff, you know, Sony and Disney are doing together, I personally think it's the best stuff right now when it comes to the film side of the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite, and it's made me a huge Spider-Man fan because my buddy, like, he used to make fun of me. We'd be drinking, partying, and he'd be like, "Spider-Man's my favorite." I'm like, "Put him in a cornfield; he ain't gonna do anything but, you know, whip some corn at you." Like, it's what? I'd make fun of me, man. Like, it's Spider-Man. No, but the more, like, I have a huge new found respect for the Spider-Man character. I see why Stan Lee thought it was the best character. Like, I kind of get it now, and I love it, and I love watching Miles's character unfold and like how it intertwines with it. Like, it's so good, dude. It's so good.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna check it this weekend. But freaking Rise of the Beast is Friday too, so I got to see that. And I still got to like circle back around and see the latest, you know, Fast movie.
Oh no, you don't. They're all the same.
I know, but
It's the last Fast.
Oh, shut up, dude.
If only, like, it just like I wish they would have like, which I guess they're going. I guess they're going to end up ending on a round number. Since they're doing like 3 more. Well, no,
I don't. Yeah, whatever.
It's gonna be uneven because it's gonna be like 13 of them. Well, no, because Fast 10, so they're still gonna end on 12 because Fast 10 is like the start of this franchise ending trilogy, or whatever. So they're still gonna, because I thought they should end with 10, and I thought they should go like when 9 came out. I was like, they need to end with 10. They need to go into space, which they did technically.
Stop it.
With the last one, but this was like before I saw 9. Like I was like, they need to go in space. I saw 9, they went into space. I'm like, what else can you do? Like at this point in time with the Fast and Furious franchise, if they discovered time travel, would anybody bat an eyelash?
No.
I wouldn't. Like, what else can you do at this point? Like, There needs to be like
I want the Fast and Furious franchise to meet the Expendables.
now or like the freaking
bring it all together
Avengers at this point, because basically like they went from like they started stealing DVDs. Like that was like the big thing, street racing and
DVDs,
like Mission Impossible stuff, and suddenly everybody's super trained and they can fight, and everybody's got plot specific.
They're trying to get God's eye.
Oh my god, it's stupid. It's fundamentally stupid. The stuff that they're doing. I understand that, and it's more intelligent. Which one? I get that, but I still want to see it.
Which one's the one where they like had God's eye and like the zombie cars, like they're remotely AI controlling the cars, they're going off the wall. I literally turned to my wife in the theater. I'm like, so my God, if you ever make fun of me for watching another Sharknado movie, I'm kicking you out of the house. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You make fun of me for liking just a terrible B movie that's funny.
I thought that was the God's Eye stuff was the 8th one, because the 9th one was Cena.
Whatever, I don't care.
So it was like the 8th one. And like the whole it's just stupid. Like, was that the one they had like the magnet thing with the cars, where like the magnet is pulling the cars out, but it's not pulling like the car that the magnet is in. Nothing is happening to that one. It's just like they're so stupid, so dumb.
The only thing Cena's done good in action films is for Transformers if Bumblebee. he walks up to the door. He walks up to the door and is like, "There's a door in my way." And they're just like C4, boom. I was like, yes. Oh, that stuff was freaking hilarious. I'm pumped for Beast Wars though. I am pumped for Beast Wars.
I am mostly. I've got like tempered sort of like, because Bumblebee was good. They went back to kind of like small scale. And of course, the opening 3 minutes of Bumblebee was like the greatest Transformers like stuff we've gotten ever, because it was total G1. And just, I'm like, give me 90 minutes of that, please. But Bumblebee like was good. There wasn't too much like stupid human stuff and like the Bayverse movies or whatever. But then I read like, I think it was like I don't know if it was the director or it was like the producer talking about they wanted to kind of basically go back to some of like the Bay isms for like the sequel. And I'm just like, I don't know about that. Because
Bumblebee was actually good.
Bumblebee was like the least. I think it made like the least amount of money of the Transformers movies. But it's like Bumblebee came after it the last night, which was garbage. All the movies after the first one, all the sequels were just diminishing returns every time. So it's like, is it fair to blame Bumblebee because it was another Transformers movie after a series of movies that were getting progressively worse and doing progressively worse box office wise? Like people were tired of it at that point. So yes, less people are going to go see it. So you want to dial back, call back to going back to those Bayverse stuff for the sequel is just, I don't know. And then the fact you have like multiple factions in it, I'm like wondering about focus, screen time, got a lot of characters, got the human characters still. So it's just, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic about it just because I love Beast Wars. I love Primal, Air Razor, Rhinox. Like I love those characters. But
if Rat Trap is not in this movie, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, at this point, he ain't. Like, or at least they haven't said it, unless he's like.
They have not said it, but like, if Rat Trap's not in this movie, I'm gonna be pissed. I have every rendition of Rat Trap there is.
Yeah,
because he is one of my favorite not Predacons, Maximums.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably one of my favorites. Dinobot being actually my favorite.
So yeah, like as the years have gone on, I've liked him more because I kind of gotten older, wiser. I understand more like the subtle sort of like nuance that like he brought to Beast Wars that 12-year-old me did not understand, but in recent years I've kind of like liked him more. But for me, as far as like Beast Wars, it was always like Rhinox, like just the dude with the double like.
But he was so gentle at the same time.
Oh yeah,
Rhinox was a good character. I mean, I just love Dinobot's character. Like, I don't know. Quick Strike was another one of my. I have his little Transformer original. That's right. Oh, real nerd stuff.
Get that, Rick? Your eyes are glazing over as we like continue to nerd out.
Huh?
Let's say like Rick, asked him if he was still good as his eyes were glazed over.
He's used to this because
good.
like I'm a geek through and through. Like I can let's talk. I love like Beast Wars, Voltron, Gundams, Dragon Ball Z, Bleach. That's all my jams. I wish they'd bring out a really good Zoids again too, because
I never got into those. Like,
Zoids didn't get the respect that it deserved.
and I think maybe it was just because that sort of style of animation at the time was still kind of new, so it just didn't visually like it didn't like. I was like, this is weird. I don't like this, so I never got into the show.
See, Gundam had that like in both Zoids actually, Zoids and Gundam. They had a very heavy like. They were probably cartoons that shouldn't have been for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were more adult, and that's what like sucked me into Gundam and why I got stuck and hooked because it's just like that was world problems in that show. Like great stuff. All right, Ruby, what do you want to do?
I'm sorry. I was just getting on some of the messages here that I was apparently I missed, but it's all right. That's okay, man. But no, I just Sebastion, thank you very much for joining us here. We definitely wish you the best, and I mean, Z, at least get a gamer tag before you get out of here. You know,
What?
Before he gets out of here, you should at least get a gamer tag.
I'll shoot him a message. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Well, man,
he's in a shooter. I'm not into shooters unless he wants to play Hot Wheels with me. we can take it back to the 80s and 90s.
I mean, I'm Kabuto writer on PSN. So
there it is.
Like KABUTORYDER. So I'm a huge Kamen Rider fan, and Kamen Rider Kabuto is like one of my favorite seasons. So
yeah, see, Masked Rider is where I got introduced to that style.
Like the Saban like bastardization of Kamen Rider Black RX Masked Rider.
Yes, sir.
No, we're at the end of the show. That's a 30-minute rant that you don't want from me.
But no, that's how I got introduced to all that. But I loved all like Power Rangers, all that. Like that was my kids and I still watch Power Rangers. Like I'm pumped for the new season coming up.
I'm really curious about what they're going, because I stayed up like the day it was, because of course when stuff drops on Netflix, it drops at like 2:00 Central Time, because that's 12:00 Pacific. So like when Once and Always was dropping, like I stayed up to 2:00 to wait on it to drop on Netflix for like 2:00 our time or whatever. And I've watched it a whole bunch of times since, and I've rewatched like the original like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers so many times. Multiple other seasons. I've done multiple like rewatches of the seasons. Ninja Storm I will rewatch anytime, all the time, because it's a fantastic season. RPM is fantastic. So I'm curious to the new season and kind of going away from just the straight adaptation, which they've been doing more recently in recent seasons. Not just doing the straight cut and paste sort of adaptation of the Sentai footage, but I'm really curious as they get into really their own sort of original takes on the Rangers. Because if you look at the comics, the Boom Studios comics, there's so much there to just do original stuff, and I'm really wanting them to take that step with the live action stuff and just really kind of do more with it.
Since Samurai, I think it was, because I can't stand Samurai.
Samurai's garbage. And Mega
my
Force
oldest,
too.
Both of those are just, and like it made me lose faith in it. And then I think it was so this one's Dino Charge, right? No, what
Dino Fury.
Dino Fury, but the one previous before this, the Beast
Beast Morphers.
Beast Morphers.
That one, like Dino Charge, Beast Morphers, Dino Fury. I think
I really dug that one.
Mm-hmm.
And also my youngest, my 4-year-old, like beat it into me, and like, but at the same time, I've actually enjoyed that one. And then this new one, I absolutely love the new one and how they went with it, the storyline, like how they're continuing it. Like, so I'm happy to be enjoying Power Rangers with my kids. That's the real kicker right there. Mm-hmm. So, did you like the live action big film they tried to redo? or did it fall for you?
From the standpoint that, like, these, and maybe it's just coming out of like, because MMPR, like original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, it was like teenagers with attitude or whatever, but they were like they were good, positive, sort of like deserving of the powers like that they were given. Whereas the kids in the reboot were kind of dicks. Like the Pink Ranger, especially, she was like a mean girl. Like, and the stuff she did, like, but like I don't know, it just didn't gel with me in that regard. That they were dicks basically.
I didn't even think of that.
And then they made the Power Rangers. Like outside of that, like I wasn't feeling the suits were a little too busy, too much to them. The Zords were less than stellar, I will say, and then the Megazord looked like ass. So
now, okay, are you just a Tommy Oliver fan, or who's your favorite Ranger?
I like Tommy through the years, but he has never been that sort of I don't know, like Jesus Ranger, like to me that he is for so much of the fandom.
That's a fact.
He just like I like him, thought he was cool, but I never thought he was like the be all end all of any of the shows that any of the seasons that he was on. Like I of course like started with the original MMPR. Like my mom would tell me stories of like the first year Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was on TV and Christmas time came around and the Zords and stuff like that, the toys, stuff like that, of like my mom would tell me tales of like literal fist fights that parents would have in the aisles of Toys R Us over those like figures and trying to get them for their kids at Christmas time. So of course I started there, watched all the seasons up to I fell off with Turbo once they brought in Blake Foster, who I've met at conventions before. He's a cool dude or whatever. It's no fault of his own that he was brought in there as a child and kind of screwed everything up the way he did. But I jumped off there, and then I would dial back in for like Lost Galaxy and Time Force and Wild Force, stuff like that. Little episodes like here or there. But what got me back into it fully was Ninja Storm, because it was like the first season in a while where like the cast chemistry was phenomenal, and they actually looked like they were having fun with the characters, and that showed through their performance that they were giving through the season. So that was always like one of my top faves. And then RPM is like the greatest use of Sentai footage, because Go Onger, which is what RPM is adapted from, was such like a goofy, corny season with the Zords like talked and stuff like that. Had like the big old like eyes or whatever and talked and stuff. And they took that and made it into the post-apocalyptic, storyline and season that they did with it. So of course that's tops for me. So I don't really have like a specific like Ranger character that I put above all else. I put like just the Rangers as a whole. So like Ninja Storm outside of MMPR, which is a given.
Yeah.
But outside of that, sort of like Ninja Storm is like at the top for me. Like Ranger
SPD's mine.
So I liked SPD up until Sam came in with the whole like ball of light thing.
Okay.
Once I started doing that, like I was like, oh, this is stupid. I'm out. I don't know whether or not it was like a budget thing that they were trying to do, just to cut back on having to pay another actor, because you don't see, a person until like the very last episode where him and the other Ranger are like teleporting back to wherever they go, and like it's like the ball and then the flashlight, and you see like the person for like 2 seconds, and then they teleport away. I don't know whether or not it was like a budgetary thing, but I just thought that was just stupid. Outside of that, again, that was like a great cast. Like Brandon J. McLaren, who's the Red Ranger in that. He's been on tons and tons of shows in recent years. He's a phenomenal actor.
Phenomenal.
So it was a great cast. It just, I don't think the execution was like as good as it could have been. And then Operation Overdrive was garbage. Mystic Force was garbage.
So I thought Mystic Force is a hidden gem.
Thought it was what?
It's one. It's not my favorite, but like there's a weird love for it too.
There's stuff I like, but I certainly don't like the theme song because it was garbage. All
right, Ruby, take us home.
I hear the music. Like I feel like I'm at the Oscars and the music is starting to play.
That's all right.
We're nerding out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my bad.
You're good guys. You're good guys. There was one thing I wanted to touch off here real quick because we'll go and get to that. They had another subtopic. We can always hit that here next week. Just real quick here, and I guess I don't know who had gotten a hold of us regarding trying to get this done here. But we have been reached out to someone reached out to us regarding Palmetto Championship Wrestling that's out of Camden, South Carolina. That's having a show this Saturday across the Wrestleverse. You can find them on Facebook at Palmetto Championship Wrestling. Bell time will be at 7 p.m. And James Drake from AEW, who is their world champion, will be in action there. So there you go. Across the Wrestleverse for Palmetto Championship Wrestling. And that's for this Saturday. So there you go. If you're in the area, check it out. I mean, like I said, the AIWF is based out of North Carolina. So why not?
I was about to say, like, I hadn't heard about them, but I am going to mark that down, and I'm going to reach out to them.
There you go. Palmetto Championship Wrestling.
I know the guys very well. I know some of them.
Yeah.
They're part of We Talk Wrestling. They also have a podcast. So Shane's the one that reached out to me. Shane Dory.
Okay.
DORR. Dory. My brain's telling me differently. So great guys. They have a podcast themselves. I'm trying to remember what the heck the podcast name is. That we've pushed them before. For some reason, it's slipping my mind. Yeah, Elliot. You remember Elliot? He's come in a couple times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Their podcast. Great guys down there. Great show. So
there you go. All right. Well, like I said, we're actually just kind of gonna wrap up here tonight. Here, like I said, there's the topic we're gonna probably touch on next week. No big deal. But we've been just having a good chatatious time here with all of us here, which is great. Which is what we like to do. We definitely don't want to be killing dead air,
All right, so I apologize, for anybody that we
heck
put
no.
sleep with our nerding.
That's all right. Like I said, it's all in culture here. I mean, heck, we were at a con. What was it about 6 weeks ago?
Yeah, a little over a month ago now.
Yeah, a little over a month ago. So we're at a con, at someone's booth. So wrestling is getting in places where trying to get that intermingled. So
that pop culture meets wrestling. It's beautiful emerging. It really is.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but great. Once again, we thank Sebastion Envi here for joining us here. And like I said, guys, we will be back here next week. And just stay tuned to our Facebook pages to we'll let you know who our special guest is going to be, or feature guest is going to be. And we'll continue on with our with other topics that come up here. So anyway, stay tuned. Have a great rest of your week here coming up here. Like I said, it's going to get warmer now. We're almost into summer, and but we're gonna keep things going here at the Falls Kind of War podcast with some great guests here. So for our feature guest Sebastion Envi, and of course the Gem City Mouse Zmiz, I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby. Thank you very much for joining us here this evening. And we will reach you here next Sunday once again at 9 p.m. Central. And tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell anybody that you know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, anybody. Share the show and get like and subscribe. As always, guys, we'll be back here next week with some more fun. Until then, have a great night, and we'll see you then. Thanks again for tuning in to tonight's episode of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. Don't forget our friends at the following: Outside the Ring STL, the Searcher and Hide podcast, and We Talk Wrestling. The Falls Count Everywhere podcast is an LTX Enterprises production.